Paranormal encounters and stories have been around for years. Ghosts appear in ancient literature, plays, and even current movies, yet ghosts are a largely unknown phenomena. A ghost is believed to be the spirit of a person who died. Spiritualists believe that the things that make up your personalities, such as your ego and intellect, cannot die, and instead carries on in another plane of existence. This continued existence is what we commonly refer to when we talk about ghosts. This photo was submitted by Chris to the Ghost Study website. He went on to say the following: "Here is a family photo that has sat on my grandparents' shelf for as long as I can remember. It's a family of my aunt and uncle's family who lived in Rhode Island. I don't know them well, but one Thanksgiving my cousin noticed the man in the window that no one had ever noticed before. My cousin scanned the photo and we emailed it to my uncle, and asked him who it was in the window. Uncle Jay has no idea there was someone there when the photo was taken in 1977, but he said there's a lot of strange things that happened in that house. My aunt and uncle moved out of that house over 20 years ago, and until me and my cousin noticed the figure in the window, no one had any idea. Now the photo is always a family ghost story that we have fun with every time we're at my grandparents' house. To this day, Chris nor the family have no idea who the man could be. So what do you think this photo shows? Let me know your theories in the comments. So why are so many ghost sightings reported? Some believe that earthbound spirits are individuals who either consciously decided to not cross over to the light, are not aware they have died, or are so traumatized by the death experience they cannot see the light. Earthbound spirits are quite often bound to an isolated experience. They continue conscious awareness in their own little world, and often linger in earthly locales where they once felt the most comfort and safety. They often have an agenda. You might encounter these spirits in a previously owned home, a place of business, an old battlefield, or even seen wandering around a property. In other cases, spirits might inhabit a place somewhere in our reality, but are not consciously aware of where that is, and are not tied to a particular place. Some spirits don't know they've passed. These spirits can be evil and harmless, or very angry, and attempt to lash out at the living. The story of a famous miracle in Fatima, Portugal began in May 1917, when 3 children ages 7, 9 and 10 claimed to have encountered the Virgin Mary. This was on their way home from tending to a flock of sheep. The eldest girl was the only one to speak to her, and Mary told the children that she had reappeared to them on the 13th day of the next 6 months. She then vanished. The children soon told their parents, and while some of the village didn't believe their tale, others did and told more people. As the weeks and months passed, more and more of the faithful made journeys to Fatima, where the children claimed to have received Mary's visits. Still, no one else saw the Virgin Mary. Instead, the gathered adults would listen as Lucia took the lead and began to describe her visions. It was Mary's final appearance on October the 13th, 1917 that became the most famous. An estimated 60,000 to 100,000 people were in attendance at the site, anticipating the Virgin Mary's final visit, and with many fully expecting that she would work a great miracle. As before, the figure appeared, but this time lifting her hands into the sky. As everyone gazed upward, they saw a silvery disc emerge from behind the clouds. They experienced what is known as a sun miracle. Soon after, rays of light began hitting the onlookers. This was a thing that really happened. It was viewed by around 100,000 people of varying ages, and has since been confirmed as a miracle by the Roman Catholic Church. An article at the time stated the following: "One could see the immense multitude turn towards the sun, which appeared free from clouds and at its peak. It looked like a plaque of dull silver, and it was possible to look at without discomfort. It might have been an eclipse which was taking place, but at that moment a great shout went up and one could hear the spectators shouting, 'A miracle, a miracle!' Before the astonished eyes of the crowd eagerly searching the sky, the sun trembled and made sudden incredible movements outside all cosmic laws. According to the people, the sun danced. People then began to ask each other what they had seen. the great majority admitted to having seen the trembling and dancing of the sun. Others affirmed they had saw the face of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Others again swore the sun whirled on itself like a giant Catherine wheel, and that it lowered itself to the earth as if to burn it with its rays. Despite some theories about space dust and tricks of the light, science has never been able to explain exactly what all those people saw. The first discovery of what may have been real giants happened in 1705. It was believed that huge bones found in New York actually belonged to giants. However, after investigations, paleontologists later debunked this claim when it was proven that the bones actually belonged to a mastodon. The elephant-like American mastodon was a distant relative of the mammoth, with whom it shared its Ice Age home. There have been over 200 mastodon fossil finds across North America, but they seem to have been most common along the eastern sea border, and in an area immediately south of the Great Lakes. For centuries, fossilized remains of giant animals such as elephants, giant sloths and bison have been mistaken for giants, but some believe that doesn't explain all accounts of giants. There is a place in Laos known as the Plain of Jars, and for good reason. Literally thousands of jars are found here. The jars are between 1 and 3 meters high, and around the same in diameter. Made completely out of stone, these incredible jars date way back to the Iron Age. It's one of the biggest and most important prehistoric sites in Southeast Asia. What's incredible is that some of these jars weigh over several tons. Most are made of sandstone, but there are others made of much harder granite and limestone. Studies have shown that these giant jars would have been manufactured with a degree of knowledge of what materials and techniques were suitable. It's thought that their creators used iron chisels to manufacture them, although no conclusive evidence for this exists. Not much is known about who made these giant jars, meaning that little is known about their origins or purpose. According to some of the local legends, the jars were created by a race of giants, whose king needed somewhere to store his rice wine. This wine was believed to have been consumed at a great feast. There are many stories the world over of giants, and this is one of those cases, except with this mystery we actually have solid proof. While some think these giant jars were used to collect rainwater, many archaeologists the world over believe the jars were used as urns. However, these are just theories. Archaeologists still don't have all the answers, but their work has been slowed down due to the fact that the Plain of Jars is one of the most dangerous archaeological sites in the world. There are several different sites where these jars have been found. At some places, multiple jars are clustered in circles, as much as 400 in one group. So for now, these giant jars remain a mystery, and we can only theorize what they were used for thousands of years ago. While visiting this ancient castle of her son, a woman decided to take a photograph with him playing in the background. She was shocked to discover a dark phantom lurking behind him with his back to the camera. The woman said that no one was there while the photo was being taken. This isn't the first time that this dark phantom has been witnessed. Many people over the years have come forward stating they've seen the same thing. One witness said the following: "I took my nan here as we live close by. After walking around, we decided to stop and have a bite to eat. While doing this, I had the impression we were being followed. After carrying on, every so often I would see a black mass in the corner of my eye. I had no idea what this thing was, and it made me feel uncomfortable. After this, we left shortly after." Over the years, stories have been passed down about giants. Some places on the planet have never been properly excavated by archaeologists. This could be due to lack of finances, or sometimes because scientists are not allowed to enter without permission from authorities. There are also stories about discoveries of giant graves, and those accounts have never been fully investigated and neither confirmed nor denied. Some websites claim that an archaeologist named Michael Tellinger dated giant footprints to be around 200 million years old. Tellinger supposedly found another giant footprint in Africa in 2012, and he was convinced that it was one of the best pieces of evidence proving that giants once roamed the earth. While Tellinger claimed to be an archaeologist, many have denounced him as a conspiracy theorist. So what is this alleged footprint? There could have been several possibilities. The footprints could have been carved out by ancient humans. As we have seen from early humans, even back then they were rather artistic. creating objects from any materials we could find. Another theory is the supposed footprint is a result of a chunk of surrounding country rock that fell into a magma chamber, that just so happens to be in the form of a human-like foot. People who take the scientific route say there are other explanations that can be proposed using rational evidence based on a scientific approach. Also, if this is a footprint, it would have belonged to an individual that was around 30 feet high. But what do you think? Does this photo show a giant footprint? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.